Hello everyone, I welcome you again on this fascinating journey of research. In this video, we are going to discuss about types of research studies. So let's consider this statement: different types of research or different phases in the same research. Well, what we are going to explore in a short while, we will going to revisit this statement. Are we going to discuss 3 different types of research, or is it going to be different phases in the same research? Let's explore. Research types. When we talk about types of research, there could be many different types of research, but yes, interestingly, you could describe any kind of research belonging to falling in one of the 3 basic forms or fundamental categories. The first one being descriptive research. What is a descriptive research? When your idea is to describe what is going on or what exists, then you are actually doing some kind of descriptive research. So what do you mean by descriptive or describing things as they are? Let's say a democratic country is choosing its leader. Then you are interested in what is the proportion of people who would, let's say, go for candidate A or for the other candidate B. So you have 2 different parties, let's say Republican and Democrats. So what proportion of people would go for Republican vis-a-vis a Democrat candidate? That is what you are interested in describing. So that is an example of descriptive research. You wish to describe things as they are, not going beyond finding out the relations. But let's move from descriptive to relational studies that look at the relationship, right? So in the earlier case, the idea was to describe something in its details. Now we are talking about the relationship. So looking at the relationship between 2 or more variables is relational study. For example, in the previous example itself, let's add gender to it and try to see if a specific gender has preference towards, let's say, in choosing, they has a preference to make about choosing Republican or Democrat candidate. So this is about relational study. So we are adding one more variable and trying to see that whether gender is somehow related with the preference of candidate. The third being causal study. Studies that are designed to determine whether one or more variables, for example, a program or treatment variable, causes or affects one or more outcome variables, is known as causal studies. Basically, it's about identifying the cause and the effect. It is something which is in social research, the kind of causal research is most demanding, and you will find that many researchers are trying to arrive at causal studies. Well, any program or intervention is being introduced and you wish to assess the impact of that program. So definitely it is about cause and effect. A teacher introduces a new teaching method in her class and is interested to know whether her children are learning better or not. So this is typical case of causal study. So cause and effect So this is where this research type is being extensively used. In the earlier example, let's add an intervention of advertisement. So running an advertising campaign has changed voter preference. If the researcher is willing to establish this, or willing to check his assumptions that whether advertising campaign really changed the voter preference or not, then this kind of research is basically a causal research. Yes, so as we can see that the three types of studies could be viewed as cumulative. When I say cumulative, means one is contained in another. We normally begin with the descriptive research, and then we move to relational studies. Let's say descriptive to relational. Wait a minute. We begin with descriptive. The idea is to describe. Then we go one step ahead, we go to relational studies, and then from relational to causal. So remember these three letters, D, R, C. So D for descriptive, R for relational, and C for cumulative. So there could be a research which has three phases to it. You start with describing things, you start with describing variables, you try to describe things, or maybe you have some abstract concept, you want to operationalize them. We will come back to this word, operationalization. So you first describe, and then you try to find out the relations, and then you try to see if there is causality to it. So three phases in same research. The same thing is given here. A relational study assumes that you first describe by measuring or observing each of the variables you are trying to relate, whereas a causal study attempts both discovering cause and effect and showing the variables to be related. So this is all in this video, and thanks for watching. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do subscribe, and we would love to hear comments from you. Please leave your comments. That keeps us motivating to make more such interesting videos on research. Thank you.